the Browns found themselves down 24-12 late in the fourth quarter in Denver. Baker Mayfield at Jarvis Landry for his only touchdown of the day to bring it within 5. But on the Browns' next possession, Baker threw an incomplete pass to Jarvis in traffic on fourth down that led to Odell Beckham Jr. reportedly coming off the field saying, quote, "I can't get the ball to save my life." After the game, OBJ said he did not recall saying that. Baker finished the day with 273 passing yards and was sacked twice. The Browns have now lost 4 in a row. Shannon, how much is Baker to blame for the Browns' 2-6 record?
Skippy, you got to take the lion's share. He's the quarterback. The ball's in his hand. You know, he keep telling people, if you don't like the way I am, you got to deal with it. This is me, okay? This is you. 2-6. This is you. And it's not good enough. Skip, I'm looking at this, and you know, I think Odell is an unbelievable talent, and I think sometimes he lets his emotions get the best of him. But, Skip, throughout, and I think they're 2-6 now, yeah. Odell has only 4 red zone targets in 8 games. Skip, that's not good enough. That's not nearly good enough. And you saw the play. Yep. It's almost like see, and this is what happens, Skip, when you make your mind up where you're going with the football instead of reading, because if he's reading that, that's a touchdown to Odell. But Freddie, you know, I'm going to give you some of this blame, too. At some point in time, Skip, you got to start. The thing that I love most about Coach Belichick, Skip, he does not let emotion dictate what a call he's going to make. Take the field goal, Freddie. You had an opportunity for a field goal in the third quarter, and then if you have an opportunity for a field goal in the fourth quarter, you kick the field goal, you got the lead. Now you make them go down and get a field goal or touchdown to beat you. But no, you want to go for it. You want to play hero. Skip, trust me, as a football player, Skip, I always wanted to go for it. Hell, I don't care if it was 4th and 10. Let's go for it. Sure. Man, you got myself, John Elway, TD, Ed, Rock. We got this. No, sometimes you got to be smart. And Freddie is not. Freddie trying to get fired. And you know what? I believe John Dorsey and Jimmy and Dee Haslam, they will oblige him in that. He's doing everything he can. But, Skip, this is not, Baker got to wear this one. Baker has to, Skip, they ran 30 more plays. They had the ball 11 more minutes time of possession. And you catch an L against the guy that's starting for the very first time.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to put it on, Skip. I mean, it was like I'm looking at these numbers. The Broncos had, the Broncos had 302 total yards. They were 3 of 9 on third down. They had the ball 11 more minutes. Baker, you got to wear this one, bro. This you. All them commercials. Now, hopefully, you ought to tell them, say, look, guys, y'all need to stop running those commercials.
I would.
Because I look foolish.
I thought about that yesterday.
Skip, I look like a D-fool because here I am on every Sunday. Yeah. I got 4 or 5 national spots popping up, and I'm playing like Kapu.
He is not entertaining in his house. In the commercial, he entertains, but in the football game, he doesn't entertain, right?
How much longer this going to go on, Skip?
Oh, God. Progressive? No, he's not progressing, right?
Exactly.
Nope, sorry. It's hard to defend Baker Mayfield today, but I remain a Baker fan. I still believe in him long term. But I believe he was dealt a hand that no sophomore quarterback with like 20 different progressive commercials could have overcome this second season in the NFL. I still think it all went south when they elevated a guy who had only called the plays for half a year in his whole career.
His whole career.
And they elevated him not only to the play caller, they said, you're the head coach.
Yeah.
Right.
And you want to talk about in over your head? So now he's become go for broke Freddie, right? He's going to go for it every time, even if it's 4th and 18 or whatever it was. Just go for it. Go for it, because that's how you establish your credibility in this league.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
That's how you get fired in this league.
You know, I will not be shocked if he is terminated now.
I thought we could have some news.
Yeah, right?
You think
like
really?
now,
I
like
really
this
do.
week, maybe in the next 24 hours.
Why wait?
I would not be shocked. The back half of their schedule is, I think it's ranked statistically second easiest.
Right.
But they're 2-6. Well, what are you going to do with that?
Buffalo next, yeah.
Yeah, Buffalo next.
Buffalo
I don't think they can
Buffalo can play defense now, Skip.
I totally agree. So I'm seeing a Baker Mayfield who's not a hot mess. He's just a cold mess right now. And it's a team full of solo acts, starting with the quarterback. And it was cute last year. It was new, and he was the it kid.
Yep.
His jersey was just jumping off the shelves, right?
Yep.
Jumping off the racks. And yet, what did we see from Baker yesterday that was a little bit bizarre? He arrives at the game with the full beard. Then he comes out for kickoff. He'd shave part of it down to the little goatee and the mustache, but it was a big mustache. Right. And then after the game, he had shaved a whole lot of the sides of the mustache, so he had a little mustache. And he's wearing this bizarre oversized trench coat, and he looked pretty weird after the game.
Yeah.
You can insert joke here because they were all over Twitter.
Skip, we recognize him. We knew that was Baker Mayfield that walked in. That was him that stunk it up on the field. He tried to change like, y'all, they won't know who if I shave, they won't know it me.
Oh,
that was weird.
Yeah,
Who was that guy playing quarterback? I don't know. I think it was Baker Mayfield. So he is going out of his way so far to show the world he will not favor or force the ball to number 13.
Right.
Odell. That's my friend Odell, but he's cool with me because we hang out.
Right.
Off the field. We hang out on weeknights. And he'll be fine. He'll be totally cool with it if I show everybody I'm not going to favor you by showing everybody we're close here. And I'm going to keep Jarvis and you happy to a fault. Won't work.
No.
Sorry.
Jarvis cannot get double the targets that Odell. Yeah. Jarvis is a good receiver. Odell Beckham is a great receiver. Odell Beckham is a game changer. Yeah. He's a guy that can bust the game wide open. That's not what Jarvis is a stick mover. He's a chain mover, Skip. This guy here, he can hit his head on the goalpost. Yep. And you must target him, give him his attempt. Like you go into the game, there are certain guys, the Julio Joneses, the Mike Evans, the Thielens, those guys, Skip, your top receivers, you go into the game. Well, you got a chart that says, okay, I must get him somewhere between 8 and 10 targets a game. Yeah. Skip, Odell, 6 targets, he got 5 catches, 87 yards. For Odell to come out of the game without 10 targets is unacceptable.
And reportedly, he left the field, walked off the field yesterday and said to nobody in particular, I can't get the ball to save my life.
He can't.
Okay? All right. So that was the first little shot, though it wasn't straight to the media, that he has taken at Baker. And I expected him to take one to the media after the game, but he did not, to his credit. And yet they got all kinds of other issues going on that are all little examples, little just little bits and pieces of what's really bigger wrong with this team, which is complete runaway, out of control dysfunction, right?
You get a Skip, when you put a guy in a position that he's not used to being in, or maybe he shouldn't even be in that position, this is what you get.
This is what
we're going to talk about the tweet that went out a little later.
We can mention it now. It was Jermaine Whitehead.
Oh, he got released.
Safety. And he got released today, so that's why I think maybe Freddie could be next. I don't know, but they may look at the schedules easy and they think he could,
But you know what? Here's the thing, though, Skip. Everybody else looking at their schedule say, hell, we got Cleveland. They're easy.
That's right. So here's a Jermaine Whitehead who's been on 4 teams in 5 years. He was undrafted out of Auburn, and he's starting at safety for the Cleveland Browns. Right. And he thinks they're all solo acts, so he thinks I can go to my locker right after the game ends.
Yeah.
And I can sit down and I can just scroll through my phone. And I can see, oh, this guy's blasting me. That guy's, I'm going to blast all of them. And I'm not just going to blast. I'm going to take the gloves off here. I'm going to go completely over the edge. And I'm going to fire away right from my locker stall, sitting in my locker. And this is the age we live in. It hit so fast and so hard. It exploded so quickly that the PR guy for the Cleveland Browns was able to walk straight to his locker and take hold of him and lead him out of the locker before the media could get to him. So in his uniform, he was led through a door and he went somewhere else to change clothes.
Skip, he lucky they didn't put him on a 5150.
Yeah.
I mean, when you threaten people like that, I know. The least of his problems, Skip, is being released. Now, there might be a situation where the Cleveland Police Department might want to talk to him. You don't, bro, look, here's the thing. And I'm sure there have been times in social media, and we've all had games, Skip. We dropped the pass, dropped the touchdown, did things. But you cannot let the emotion, that's why they say take 10 minutes, take 20 minutes, Skip, slow down, take the emotion out of it so you can be calm. To do something like this, bro, they're looking at you like, really?
Really?
You talk about threatening to kill somebody and fight somebody. You sending out your actual address and hoping somebody show up because you missed a tackle and 3 other guys missed a tackle also.
True. So this is so out of control that you've got. Why did he do that? Because he thinks he has no fear of the head coach. No. Obviously, no Patriot went to his locker. I'm doing the highest example, but they'd be so afraid of their coach that they wouldn't go tweet after the game from their locker and set off a firestorm because they'd know they'd be in jeopardy of losing their job.
And for me, Skip, I always thought about because we saw what AB did, because there's no threat of repercussion. We saw what Tarek Cohen did in Chicago.
Yep.
There was no threat of repercussion. You do things like this when there's no threat of repercussion.
That is correct.
Now, he paid the ultimate repercussion. He lost his job.
He did.
But that you have to understand, because when you do things, Skip, I've never wanted to do things in my personal or professional life to leave someone else to have to explain. Because if I do something, you better believe Sterling Sharp's going to have to offer an explanation. Sharon Sharp's going to have to offer an explanation for Shannon Sharp's behavior. Well, if I do something and I'm playing, Skip Bayless in FS1 is going to have to answer for my behavior. And I never want to put them in that situation. So at some point in time, bro, you got to think about someone other than you. I know you're upset. I know how it's going to come off, and they played it. Noah Fant catches the pass, goes 75 yards, you missed the tackle. Okay, I promise you, Ronnie Lott, Ed Reed, Troy Polamalu, all the greats have missed the tackle. You're not the first, you won't be the last. So take the emotions out of it, bro. There's nothing good can come from about threatening somebody on Twitter.
There's nothing good. So now we have the two-star receivers coming out for kickoff wearing cleats that were, I guess the NFL had not passed on them, had not signed off on either one of them.
Skip, I went through this. Normally what happens, they give you, say, you can wear the cleats, but they need to be as close to the uniform as possible. But they only need to be two colors. I had cleats. They were patent leather. They were white, blue, and orange. The guy told me, he said, Sharp, those are some nice cleats, but you need to cover up one of those colors, or you're not going to be able to play in those. Odell got upset about being, he was fined because his pants didn't cover his his knees. Me and Aaron Glenn, Skip, one year, I got docked 80 grand for uniform. Odell, I get it, and I'm asking the same thing, Odell. What does my uniform, me getting hit in the thigh, have to do with the hell of my head? I ain't got no concussion from getting the thigh bruise. But they say,
why wasn't either told during pregame warm-ups, unless they changed cleats for kickoff? Did they have different cleats on?
A lot of guys do that. A lot of guys go out there, Skip. They show off the fancy custom cleats that they got done. You know, he had, the goat hair cleats for Tom Brady. Odell and these guys now, everything is custom. It's not good enough to have just the Nike or the Adidas cleats. I got to get custom cleats, with the cartoon figures and everything like that.
Jarvis's gold cleats with orange, I thought they were okay. I couldn't see what was really wrong with them, but who knows?
I guess they said the color was too close to the Broncos color.
Oh, maybe.
I'm like, what the hell I got to do with anything?
They were supposed to wear a different color coming in, and that's why it didn't pass.
Because they were supposed to wear they ended up wearing a different color uniform.
They made a change.
But that's just the way it is, Odell.
All of these are symptoms, back to Jermaine Whitehead, symptoms of the bigger problem. And this whole team was a recipe for disaster from the start. Which brings us back to the leader and the quarterback. And to your point, you gotta give him the majority of the blame. So I loved what Tony Dungy said on NBC last night, that Baker needs to take the chip off his shoulder, that you can't, in this league, you can't have it on your shoulder every Sunday. Worked in college, Tony didn't say that, but he's saying you need to kind of hide your anger, channel your anger. Don't make it so public week after week. I'm going to get you, and I'm going to get you, and I'm going to shut you up, because you just have to go play. Let it all lay. Don't fight back. Just fight back on the field. Just take it out on the opposition. I thought that was deep, wise advice.
And moving forward, Odell and Jarvis, you need to send whatever kind of shoe you're going to wear. Send it to the league and get approval. Because Mike would always tell us, guys, wear the shoes, dress how I want you to come out and practice. Skip, we were the first guys. Ed McCaffrey and myself, I was first because I got it from Ricky Jackson. I would gut my pants. No thigh pads, no hip pads, no knee pads. We took the belt out, we had shoestrings. So basically we had on tights, helmets, and shoulder pads. But the NFL says no,
I wouldn't have signed off if I'd been the NFL uniform inspector on what Odell came back out in with giant OBJ. I know it was just black and white, but it was so much a billboard for OBJ's brand.
That's he always wears those, the OBJ on the side.
I mean, but they're so big. I'd say that's a uniform violation to me. But that's just me.
Look, a lot of the rules didn't make sense. But at the end of the day, Skip, I can't. This is not something. Look, I'm not trying to fight City Hall on this one. You say okay? Guess what? I got the equipment guy, Skip. He got the tape. We covered up the orange. We go play. Does that make me any less of a player? Because, Skip, I only had, the certain kinds of shoes. And I had practiced in them all week. I couldn't change to a shoe that I was unfamiliar with the day of the game. I'm not finna hurt my feet.
I got it. Bottom line, Cleveland Browns have allowed